evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Curtis Chandler. Me and all the racers. I'm Curtis Chandler. Tonight we're with North American Grand Prix. We're in GT1 cars at Laguna, Seca. Tonight's race is going to be a Superpole first, and then we're going to have a little 30-minute race. Should be a good time. Have to excuse me a little bit. I got a little bit of the frog going on in my throat, but we'll work through it. Got my glass of tea here, and gonna enjoy tonight. Gonna be by myself tonight. Normal partner in crime, Jack Ivy, is out on assignment, roaming around the countryside. I don't know really what he's doing, but he decided he didn't want to be here tonight, I guess. So anyways, on with the race. Tonight's Superpole will be one-lap sprints in the order you see them now. So, well, in the reverse order you see them now. I'm here, but I'm not racing. So, how this works tonight, everybody will get one chance at it for pole position. You get one flying lap. Next guy's out there, they'll do a flying lap. And he who gets the fastest lap times, first and second, they will lock in those first and second positions for the race next week. And everybody else will be racing for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, all that. So there it is. That's pretty much how it rolls. You go out here and try to do your best. Everybody watching, everybody's seeing what you're going to throw up there for times, and track conditions can change. So there is that to watch out for. So first up tonight will be Laurent Weisman. We've got 24 runners tonight. We've got one new person. We've got one guy that hasn't been around in a long time. We'll point them out when they come up. I think this is going to go pretty quick. We're running around 1:19 laps around here, so this Superpole will go really quick. Let's follow along here with Laurent while he gets on his warm-up lap. So what you'll see is you'll see guys out here doing a warm-up lap while the other guys doing their time lap. It's going to be pretty fast and furious around here. I like Superpole. Superpole's a pretty exciting thing. So off we go. Superpole tonight. Laurent Weisman is going to be the first one up. And he starts his lap. We'll kind of talk about the track a little bit. I'm sure you all know about it. I mean, who doesn't know about Laguna Seca? The Mario Andretti, the hairpin, the corkscrew, seafood. If you've ever been to Laguna Seca, you know it's in Monterey, California. The most excellent seafood. And you can head up Fisherman's Wharf if you want. Go here for the Monterey Historic races, Italian car shows. That's a pretty big week in the Monterey Historics, obviously. But if you ever get a chance, get out here and see this racetrack. You know, see California along with it. So as we ride along here with Laurent, we're getting down here into the corkscrew. He's had a kind of a rough start to this lap, so I'm sure he's not going to be happy with it. His car's pretty loose. But he'll struggle through it. He'll finish it. And we'll all move on here. Let's see where he ends up. Looks like he's going to probably be down in the 122 area, 121.5. So not a real good lap, but nothing to be too ashamed of. Gonna hop in here in the Gumpert, David Poel. The turbocharged beast this car is. This car should be really good. I have a feeling this is going to be more of a downforce track for these guys. And this car should do real well around here. Haven't had a chance to get my camera set up here, so excuse me while I scroll through them. Looks like David having a bit of a cleaner lap than Laurent did. And as you can see, like, you can tell how fast this is going to happen tonight. This is going to be really quick. He's already 3/4 of the way through his lap, and we've just barely talked about David. Don't think we'll have a chance to talk about any of the standings until warm-up or practice, until warm-up and in between sessions. So we'll just run along with these guys, bang, bang, bang through these qualifying laps. So David Poel, you can see a much cleaner lap, probably going to be there in the 19s. Provisional pole, 19.2 for David. Al Merrimon, the boss, he's up next here in the Lamborghini. Didn't get to see what kind of times he was running there in practice. But this car should be real good around here. When it lacks in downforce, it makes up for in handling and power. So expect Al to be a contender. You won't see very many different lines these guys taking. This is pretty much a one-line racetrack if you want to go fast on it. Yeah, this is a pretty important corner right here. If you can get this corner right, without bottoming, there's a little bit of a dip to it. Catch it just right, you can really carry a lot of speed up that hill into the corkscrew, and that can make up a lot of time. Al, a little over half a second off the pole time. Into the last corner here. Probably looking around a 120.5, I'm thinking. Let's see. 20, yeah. Want to let everybody know, hey, if you want to type in there in the corner and have a little chat with me, I'll try to respond all I can. But see that Laurent's on there, and yes, Laurent, we did make mention of your kind of a rough out you had there on that lap. So hey, oh well, you didn't crash it, stuff it, so you won't be last. Just gotta see the best you can do on in the race coming up here, huh? So yeah, this is a qualifying for a 3-hour race that we're going to have here next week. So I can imagine 3 hours around this track is going to be tough for everybody. Number one, survive to the end. If you're a fast guy, that can mean good places. So got to finish these races to get good places. Looks like Mikey was a little late getting out there, so we'll follow along with Mikey. This is my Monday night teammate. Looks like he's going to be in the Porsche tonight, or is that, no, the Celine, excuse me. He'll be out there in the Celine this week. He normally rides around with me with the Ford Mustang, so being a Ford guy this year, it looks like. I saw Mike running some 125s earlier in practice. Let's see if he can improve a little bit on those. Looks like he's struggling with grip on that car. Saw the temperatures, they were up around 105 degrees. Shouldn't be a factor here in qualifying. In fact, it might actually help some of these guys struggle getting temps in their tires normally. Shouldn't necessarily be an issue tonight. Up the hill here. Car should have good torque, good power. Gotta be careful there to back into want to come around you on there, just like he almost did there. Mikey coming up on that last corner. See if he can keep it tucked up. No, and he loops it. 121. Looks like he's not going to be able to improve on his practice times. In fact, he's going to be way down the order, but working on the setup he'll need to. Provisional fourth, but I don't think he's going to be able to last there long, and I'm sure he's not real happy with that. So we'll hop on here with Chris Jackson. He's in the, what is this thing called? I forget. Lister, that's right, the Lister Storm. This is one of those cars that can be fast, it can be slow, it can be tricky, it can be great. So we'll see how Chris manages around Laguna here. I think I've run GT1 in on this track once, and definitely a goal to finish. And with that goal in mind, I think I ended up 2 laps down on this track, but in 8th place. So that just shows you can get points here if you just manage to keep it on the black stuff and with intent on finishing. So. Chris coming around the midsection of the track here. This final little short shoot before pin entrance into the final hairpin. Probably going to be in the, 25 area. Just want to let you guys know. Turn up the car volume. I'll try to do my best on that. Y'all say when, okay? Y'all say when. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Sergio Calderon here. He, one of the new guys I was telling you about. Sounds like he's in a Maserati. Yeah, he is. Don't know if he's filling in. But, I have a funny feeling this might be a little bit of a tricky car around this track. Gonna want to raise the ride height up on it so you're not bouncing around too much. You can see how things just disappear in that corkscrew. More volume. Cars or me? Tell me, guys. Probably not me. You probably don't want to hear me too loud, right? Sound effects. Can't hear the cars. I got them turned up, folks. We'll see here. So Chuck Carter's out here on his hot lap, getting ready to go up the hill, but he's out in the gravel. So this is not going to be a good line for Chuck Carter. Through the hairpin, down through the corkscrew, through the back section. Yeah, I know. You know, I've been off for 2 weeks. I haven't done this. I'm way out of practice. So you're going to get what you get tonight. So, Steve Kaker. Normal GT1 guy. He ran some GT2 stuff with us also. He's back with us tonight. In the Mazda, or excuse me, in the McLaren. Had one of these McLaren F1s out at the car show I was at last weekend. Very cool. Had an MC12 out there too. Anyways, I wish it was a Le Mans version. That would have been nice, but it wasn't. Just a street car. So Steve out there. Going up the chute before we go up the hill. Missed the bump. Keep it on the track. Hey, gets that car way sideways. Want you to know, hey, click on that little banner across the bottom of your screen there. It says GT1 live timing, and you can see the order as they pop up. Since I'm not able to do that without flipping around a lot of screens. Refresh that screen every once in a while too, and you'll be able to keep tabs on that. So Steve comes in with about a 123. That's probably going to put him in the back half of the pack for the start. Gupster, who was typing in there, is now out on track. Can you hear the cars now, guys? Barely, huh? Gupster out there on his time lap. Yeah, things get quiet when I do the cameras. I guess cameras don't have real good microphones on them, so there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Boom! Gupster does the evil off. And he's going to be stuck there. You're going to have to back it up and kind of flip out of there backwards. Get caught up on that curbing there. Yeah, we can sit here and watch Gupster struggle with this. Nope, he just parks it. So, no time for Gup. That's too bad, Gup. Yeah, Mr. Gregory Myers is out in his Viper GT1. Nice, Gup. I'm glad you can laugh about it, but we got it. So while Gup was out there spinning his wheels, Gregory trying to warm up the front tires on that car. He's going to punch it out of this corner and try to use that Viper power. And here goes Greg. I don't know, I think I want to give Gupster like a 5 on the jump there. He only got about 4 feet in the air. You know, if you're going to miss it, you can get a little more air out of that Gup. So, Don't have any idea how the Viper's going to do tonight, but good power, but a little bit of an understeer. It might be kind of a problem in some of these corners. We'll see how he does here in the corkscrew. It's going to be a tough through here, yeah. So David Poel currently sitting on pole position with that 119.2. Gregory not going to be able to better that time, but should be in the 121s. And he is. So Gregory puts it up there in the third at the 121.5 with Laurent. Even though he was struggling a little bit, still hanging on to fourth place there with that 121.577. Gregory just pipping him out there. So Christian Hamilton. He's out there in one of the Aston Martins. Christian Hamilton, not too bad a season here in GT1 and GT2s. Now when he finishes, he's able to get some points. See if he can keep it on the track. So Christian, just over a second and a half off the pole pace at that split. Not going to be able to make up much time through here, though. Unless you get the excellent exit out of this hairpin. You might gain a tenth or so, but... also in the mid-21s, so... So Christian is up to third place, the 121.4. Sam Roth, also in the McLaren. Marlboro sponsored car. Just now starting his lap. Going into Andretti. There's pit exit there. Won't have to worry about that tonight, but come race night, keep an eye on cars coming out of there. You don't want to get tangled up. Get this first split on Sam. Not too bad, Sam. It's a good time. 4/10 off. Keeps up this pace, and he's going to be able to stick this car up in the top 10. Oh, and he loses it up the hill there. Got that car sideways under braking. There's a little bit of a jump right at the braking zone there, and that's what can happen when you catch it all wrong. So not a good thing for Sammy there, but he'll finish his lap and see where that puts him. Uh, 125.7, currently going to put him in 10th. He'll drop down the order. Nothing he can do about that now. Now he's got to work on his race setup. So right along here with Marco Conte. I think all year long I've been calling poor Marco in the wrong car, but you know, I know it's a Celine. I know. So him and Mikey teaming up for the GT1 race tonight. Looks like Marco was a little bit late getting out of the pits, so he's going to start his time lap right now. These guys want to line up so right as they pass start finish. You start out on your warm-up lap. So Marco, 6/10 off in that first splint. Not bad for him. See if he survives this corner out the bump here. Car's really loose. Manages to keep it on the track. You're gonna watch your brake zone here right before you can see how the back end of that car wants to come around on you, and then you gotta start turning the wheel and hanging on the brakes. You're all arms and elbows through that section of the track. And down into turn 10, turn 11 hairpin. Pushing pretty hard, but looks like he might be in the 21s as well. Not a bad time. So we'll put him up there in 4th place. He splits Christian and Gregory there, so 121.5 for Marco. No disrespect to the other guys, but now we're starting to get into the heavy hitters, the GT1 ranks. Mr. Rich Roman, Aaron Parsons, Chris Moses, Andrew Warner. All these guys are what some will consider the fast guys here. So, looking at the temperatures, look like they've climbed actually quite a bit. I mentioned earlier, start of the qualifying session was only 105. We're up to 113 degrees now, Fahrenheit. Track temp, 95 degree ambient. So this might affect the these later guys. As we see right there, Rich Roman getting on the power, spins it out of the corkscrew there. In that tricky Maserati. Temperature's still climbing now. We're up to 114, so this guy's going to want to pay attention to that and adjust their tire pressures. That's accordingly if they've done a good week's worth of practice. And they've had 2 weeks to practice, so there's no excuses now. You should be able to practice for any possibility. So Rich obviously not happy with that, and that's cost him dearly. 129.015. So hop on now with Aaron Parsons, Gregory Meyer's teammate in that Viper. See, Ezra's really trying to point that car into the corners. See him just hammer that front of that car towards the apex, and then use that throttle and steer it around. Ooh, and he hangs on to it there. 8/10 off, so the old point and slide is not working for Reza tonight. Looks like he might have that car set up pretty stiff, so it's going to be in the 120s. So he'll pop up into what's third, yeah. Slots in behind Al Marimon. Speaking of Al, Al's teammate, Chris Moses, out there right now. Chris's last winner we had out there at Daytona. Stole that one with the Lamborghini. I don't know if he really expected that, but doesn't matter. He managed it. He takes those winning points with him. So Chris, 0.135 off of David Poel's time at that first split. Let's see how he gets through this corner. Hanging on like everybody else. what happened to Chris? It looks like he may have blown it up going up the hill. So, Chris is out. No lap time for Chris Moses. That's not going to be good for Chris come race night. So, pushing a little too hard there. Jammed it up the gears and looks like he may have... I didn't see any explosion, but sometimes it doesn't. Either ran out of gas or he blew up that motor, so it's too bad for Chris and that Lamborghini. Of course, it is a Lamborghini. They tend to eat valves and things. But anyways, so we'll hop on here with Juan Monroy, just now getting ready to start his time lap. Down here in the Andretti corner. Turn 2. That Ford GT1. Juan able to hustle this car around any track he gets on, so Juan definitely a threat for pole position. Looks pretty good through there. There being turn 6, up the hill. Survives a corkscrew. 2/10 off. 2:57 off David's time, so it looks like David's safe for right now. Unless Juan can get a monster exit out of the hairpin, I think David would be pretty safe for this pole position with Juan here. There I go, hitting the wrong button again. Looks like Juan's going to slot into second place with the 1:19.6. He lost a little bit more time there, another couple of tenths, so 19.6 for Juan Monroy puts him in second, just ahead of Al Miramon. So Al's sitting pretty good still, sitting there in third. It's going to guarantee Al at least a top 10 starting position. How many runners we got left? Good for Al. Looks like Andres is getting going here on his time lap. Coming up on that first split. See where he's at. That Maserati. It's going to be about 3/10. Like he decided to dodge that little bump on that inside corner and not even mess with it. You can see how the car wants to come up off the corkscrew there. Yeah, the car set up real soft. Doesn't matter, soft, hard. Just cars don't bend that way, so pretty much everybody doing that off that corner. So Andre's going to cross the line in fourth with a 1:24. Andres Cole. Come up here with Andres Prieto, another one of the Prieto fast guys. He's in the Ferrari I think it's a 575. And he's had a little bit of technical issues this year. Let's see if he can make it through qualifying in the race here tonight without any issues. He made it through Monday night. In fact, he won Monday night's GT2 Superpole. Well, he won the race, the 30-minute quali race, so he's guaranteed a... I think he's going to start second in that race. Aaron Parsons won the actual pole, the pre-qualifying. Anyways, like he was asleep at the wheel. So now Andre's now finally getting on his time lap. These guys out of practice. Has been a long time since we've done the Superpole. So Brad Maris will be following Andres. Andres real wide out of that corner. It's going to cost him a little bit. David, happy to see that. Gets through that corner nice and clean. He's able to carry more speed. Car looks really good in that braking zone too, so looks like Andres might be able to pick up a little bit of time. Nope, still 3:10. So look at David Poel in that downforce car is able to going to be able to hang on through the Andres threat. Let's see where he ends up. Andres slots into the third, 19.8. Those temperatures are still climbing. We're up to 117 degrees. That's 12 degrees higher than when the qualifying session started. Sounds like Brad's also in that Ferrari. Teammate to Andres tonight. Brad looking for a real good result. Like he always is, though. I think during the off season, Brad's going to concentrate more on winning some races. Yeah, I think he's hurting for a win. It's been a while for Brad, and he's fast enough to do it. Follow Brad up the hill into the corkscrew and see how he manages. We saw Andres look really good through there. Brad real clean there. Real good exit. A little bit quicker than Andres. Only about 0.2 off. So Brad gets on to the last corner here. See where he ends up. Looks like it's going to be a 19. Yep, slots in right in front of his teammate, Andres Prieto. Puts him up in the third. So Marty Aaron up next. 3 more drivers to finish off this Superpole. Temperature still climbing. We might see the 120s before this is over. So Marty getting ready to start his lap. I love my iced tea even in the wintertime. Marty's going to be a little bit off in this first split, it looks like. Only 0.1. So he can make that up. If he gets a good exit up here, get through this corner clean. He takes a little bit tighter, but you can see car looking real good through there. That's that downforce working for him. Ooh, he loses a little bit of time there. He's not able to carry that speed through the corkscrew, so that's going to hurt him. Yeah, and it does. He's lost 4 tenths in that. Just a little slow. He's going to lose a little bit more time there too. So Marty had a good first part of the first half of a lap. He's made some mistakes that's going to cost him. That's probably going to put him down into what? I think probably on 4th or 5th. Ooh, drops him way back to 8th. So that 125 for 120.5, excuse me, for Marty. So Mr. Sportelli comes onto the main straight. also in a McLaren. Looks like we got all 4 McLarens running tonight, so. And Sportelli was running low 19s in practice. And see if he can keep it on the track and keep it going and keep it clean. One thing about Superpole, you get out there and you can tend to overdrive it just a little bit. So far, not John. He's up on David Poel's pole time. 5.177. Keeps it clean. Going up the hill. Through the corkscrew. A little bit of trouble getting the power down there, but he lost 3/10 in that one section there, so back and forth we go. Let's see how he finishes his lap up. Sportelli loses a bit more time. Drops all the way back down to 5th with a 1:19.899. So our last qualifier right now, Kevin Savoy in the Nissan / Corvette / giant motor thing. Kevin able to pull out some amazingly fast qualifying times. Let's see if he's able to do it again tonight. He's up quite a bit at the moment. But we saw what happened to Sportelli in the midsection of the track. Kevin Savoy is able to just keep it clean. He might be able to snag pole away from David. So far, not bad. Still up 3/10. I think now if he just keeps it clean, he's got pole position wrapped up. But he doesn't. He doesn't keep it clean. He gets out there in the gravel. And that may just tighten it up. In fact, it will tighten it up. That's probably about a 3/10 mistake. So he drops him back to 3rd. So Kevin Savoy, who had pole position time going, makes a mistake in the last section of the track and drops all the way back down to 3rd. That's going to make the start of this race an interesting proposition. You're going to have some fast guys that made mistakes in qualifying. Kind of back a little bit. But congratulations to David Poel and to Juan Monroy. Those two will have those positions locked up for next week's 3-hour race. So David Poel will also get, I think, 2 points towards this championship. And now that we got a few minutes, we can actually talk about the championship. So you can tack on some points. There are points available. I think it's two for pole position, 1 for the 2nd place. And then you're going to have 1 for the win tonight. I think that's how that works. Please don't quote me on it. I'm never in the position to fight for those points, so I don't pay much attention to it. So as promised, we're going to tell you where our championship positions are right now. We saw our championship leader, Chris Moses, have an issue there at the corkscrew. He is in the lead right now with 147 points. He's got a pretty good lead going into this final round. Aaron Parsons, who was, I won't say happy, but he's not going to cry any tears for Mr. Moses starting at the back of the pack. Aaron Parsons sitting in 2nd right now with 127 points, and Rich Roman sitting 3rd right now with 124 points. In the team championship, Precision Motorsports, that's Al and Chris, sitting in the top spot right now with 206 points. 2 Brock Bam Bam, that's Mr. Aaron Parsons and Gregory Myers of the Viper GTSs. They're sitting 2nd right now with 183. And David Poel in the Koenigsegg sitting in third. That would be 05 Motorsports with 150 points. They're actually tied with Anger Racing with Brad Maris and Andre Spretto. They also have 150 points in the team championship. Trying to see who the other... Andrew Warner, that's who it is, the teammate to Mr. Poel. So, I'm going to run through these drivers real quick, make sure everybody's loaded. While we're sitting in here and warm up, anybody who may have missed the start is able to get in right now. Don't see anybody jumping in. There is one guy who jumped in, Mr. McIntyre, John McIntyre. Is able to hop in the game here, or simulation, excuse me. And he'll join us for the 30-minute race. So now what happens? Well, let me tell you. Your starting position is, as you see it here, David Poel, Juan Monroy, and all them. Next week, David Poel, Juan Monroy will start from the beginning at the front. But, depending on how you finish tonight, that's how we pick it up from third through whoever shows up. We've got 25 starters tonight, so see. So that's going to, Chris is going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to want to, this is a hard track to pass on, but he's going to want to move up. Try to at least get into the top 10 for next week's race. A 3-hour race, it gives you a lot of time to move up through the field. So, problem is you got fast guys out front, and you don't want them to check out. So you do want to be at least in the top 10 to start a 3-hour race. That way you can keep tabs on what's going on in front of you. So our qualifying 2 session is over. If you're not in, you're not in. You're going to have to wait until next week now. Go to a 5-minute warm-up. Our temperatures for that qualifying 2, still pretty warm, 106 degrees. We saw it at the end of qualifying. It was 121 degrees, so I wasn't far off on my guess. Let's see what happens here for warm-up. So, just want to remind everybody, hey, if you want to... Yes, this is going to be the last 2 races for GT1. But if you want to join us, feel free. Go to NorthAmericanGP.com. Sign up. Get the downloads. Start getting ready for the next season. And if you got iRacing, North American GP is also doing some iRacing now. If I remember correctly, our last warm-up preseason race is coming up this Saturday for iRacing. We've also got the GT2 series Monday nights, the final race of the season coming up Monday. Be sure to join us for that. That's a 2-hour race. That's around Spa, one of the best tracks in the world. And it's always a good one to watch. You never know what you're going to get for weather. You know what you're going to get for a race. You know you're going to get a good race around Spa. So please, if you're not going to race with us, join us here and join us here on the live stream. You can have Brad Maris and Alan Merrimon broadcasting. They always do a real good job on Monday nights. So feel free to join us then too. So we got a 5-minute warm-up now. Getting ready for the 30-minute race. I want to say it's going to be like, I don't know, 15... How many laps? Probably 23 laps for this qualifying race. It's going to happen fast. It's going to be a fast and furious sprint. Some guys forget that next week is 3 hours. All they see is tonight, 30 minutes, 23 laps. So things might get a little crazy around here. Hope not, but you never know. Since these guys have been gone a while, I'm sure we'll see them doing some trying some different things that didn't work in qualifying, which Chris Moses, I'm sure, is going to back off the RPMs a little bit so he doesn't blow anything up. Andrew Warner, David Poel's teammate, out there in that Koenigsegg. Rich Roman in that Maserati. Saw him have the issue at the corkscrew. My Monday night teammate from Canada, Mikey Greatrix in that Celine. See, Mikey, you weren't the only one that had a little issue out there. Sam Rolfe, McLaren, Chris Jackson, Chuck Carter in the Ferrari, Steve Kager in the McLaren, newcomer Sergio Calderon, number 14, Laurent Weisman in that Nissan. See, listen to that. That ain't no Nissan, I'm telling you. It's a sleeper is what that is. Gregory Myers, Marco Conti in the Celine, Christian Hamilton in the beautiful Aston Martin. I want one of those so bad. Marty Urian in the McLaren, Aaron Parsons, Super Driver, Superman from Down Under. Probably the only one in the world that can really hustle one of those Vipers around like he does. Andres Cole, the man, Al Merrimon, John Sportelli, Kevin Savoy, Sam Rolfe, Juan Monroy, pole setter David Poel, kind of an appropriate last name he's ended up with. Brad Maris, who has a real good shot at tonight. I have a good feeling about Brad tonight. And then his teammate Andres Prieto. These two are going to be a force to be reckoned with come next week in that 3-hour race. So as long as Andres doesn't have any technical issues, I think either him or Brad have a real good chance of maybe stealing one away next week. Real quickly, we'll go over some ballast issues. Chris Moses sitting right now with that win last week, 88 pounds. Marty Urian, 66 pounds. Rich Roman, 44 pounds. John Sportelli, 44. Sergio Calderon, first time out, 88 pounds. And Steve Kager with 88 pounds. There were some penalties, so there are a mix of penalties / success ballasts involved here. I didn't mention, this is our third time here at Laguna Seca in the GT1 cars. Quick rundown here. Chris Moses is a past winner here. He was driving that Viper. David Canavan and Andrew Warner, second and third. When was this? I think this was in the December of 2011 was the last time they were here. That's right. That was the race I finished 8th in here in the Lamborghini. So look at me, top 10. But yeah, Rich Roman, Sportelli, Brad Maris, and Jared Keane, 7th. And then Andre Coles and Gupster Douglas there in the Panos. That was the last time they ran here, 2011. They did run one time before that. In 2010, Rich Roman won that race with Brad Maris coming in second. So Brad's got pace around here. Watch out for Brad. So our warm-up's done. We're going to have perfect temperatures for the race. It's going to be around 74 degrees. Call me the weather wizard. How do I know it's going to be 74 degrees? Trust me. So here we go. We got 1 minute and 56 seconds here to go and run through real quick. If you've forgotten here over the last few minutes, David Poel, our pole sitter, starting second will be Juan Monroy. Starting third, Kevin Savoy. Let's see if I can't find a car here. Here we go. Starting 4th, Brad Maris. Starting 5th, Andres Prieto. Starting 6th, Mr. Sportelli. Starting 7th is Al Merrimon. Starting 8th, Andres Cole. 9th in the GT Viper, Aaron Parsons. 10th, Marty Yearn. 11th, Christian Hamilton. Starting 12th with Marco Conti. 13th, Gregory Myers. 14th, Weisman. 15th, Sergio Calderano. Real good run for him in the Maserati. 16th, Steve Hager. 17th, Chuck Carter. 18th, Chris Jackson. 19th, Sam Rolfe. Starting 20th, Michael Graytrix. 21st, Rich Roman. 22nd, Andrew Warner. 23rd, Chris Moses. 24th, Gubster Douglas. And starting 25th, Mr. John McIntyre. So there it is. Got perfect track conditions, 75 degrees. Gonna have a 30-minute race, 56 degrees temperature, ambient temperature, sunny skies, no chance for rain. These guys will be able to close up the radiators, get a little more front grip out of the cars. 18 seconds. Watch here with David Poel, see what kind of start he gets. 5 seconds at the start. Should be seeing the green lights. Revs come up. Red lights are on. And we're away. David Poel gets a really good start. Looks like, I think that might be Andres trying to go around the outside. That's going to put him out into the gravel. You don't want to be out there. People give him room. Juan Monroy in 2nd. Brad Maris in 3rd, and that's going to be Kevin Savoie coming up the inside of the Brad. Kevin gets a little loose, able to hang on to it. Al Merrimon moves up the spot up into 6th. That was because of Andres' issue getting wide out there. Aaron Parsons is going to hang out there in 7th. Looks like there may be an issue back here. We got Chris Moses. More problems for Chris. He'd moved up to 16th spot. But he's into the wall. So Chris way back in the back of the pack again. Got a little damage on the side of that car. Don't know if that's self-induced or not, but it is what it is now. So he's got more work for him. We're just going to have to take a breath and remember next week. Next week is 3 hours. Of course, he's going to have to dodge in between some cars stuck in the corkscrew. And we got somebody going backwards out of the corkscrew. That was a Gregory Meyer move from last Monday, actually. So I think that would be Andrew Warner that was going backwards out of the corkscrew. And Sergio all the way back. He had a real good start there in 16th, I think it was, all the way back into last. Back at the front of the pack, David Poel. Still leading it away. He's got Juan Monroy and Brad Maris right there in 3rd. So Kevin Savoie, and I think that might be Mr. Sportelli. Yes, it is, sitting there in 5th. So the top 5 cars. Nice even gaps there as they go through the middle of the track. Turn 6 there. Alan Merrimon with Andres Prieto and Eza right behind him. Let's see if Andres can keep us cool. He can be a little aggressive sometimes at the beginning of races. Yeah, I said it, Andres. I said it. See if he can get around Al. Andres going on the inside. Side by side down into turn 2. Al real generous on the room. Lets him go. So Andres moves up into 6th. Has to contend with Aaron Parsons right on his tail with Sportelli right there. That guy Al's able to get into those corners pretty good under braking. So Andres has got the sights set on there. Set on Sportelli there. Looks like David Poel still sitting comfortably out there in first. Juan Monroy about to have a second behind him. Then Brad Maris in third. Kevin Savoie fourth, and Sportelli sitting here in fifth. Hop on here with Aaron Parsons as he tries to grab another spot. Looks like Andre Cole's moved up. He's in the 10th. Rich Roman in 11th. And Marco Conti is having a good start so far. He's up to 12th. Really kind of curious to see where Chris Moses is sitting right now. And right now, that's the story of the championship. He's having a real bad start to this race. Bad qualifying, and then off into the kitty litter in lap 1. So in there really deep on Al Merrimon. Almost collects him, but he's able to miss him. Chris Moses working his way back up to 16th, it looks like, after that rough start. He's about 3 seconds behind McIntyre, and Kager about 12 seconds off, about 13 seconds off a top 10, which is probably where you want to be at the start of next week's race. So we'll kind of keep a side glance there on Chris and his progress through this 30-minute race. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, David Poel. And that Koenigsegg, Juan Monroy, and Brad Maris. Not far behind, but I think these guys, everybody wants to win, but you might be a little more careful than usual, knowing that there'll be a lot more harm in picking up a penalty for next week's race. There are penalties if you get into people here, so you don't want to jeopardize a good starting position just by getting into somebody or causing problems, or going off into the kitty litter and ruin a good starting position for next week's race. So Kevin Savoie, looking like he's poking his nose in here and there. Poking his nose in on Brad Maris. Normally Kevin pretty good at the sprint, long distance races. He's able to get a pretty good gas mileage and tire wear out of that car. So let's see how he does on a quickie 30-minute sprint race. I don't think tires and issues would be tires and gas would be any kind of issue for these guys tonight. Organizers trying to plan for that sort of thing. Some guys might have to start a full tank of gas. Brad getting really wide, but Kevin's going to get out there and get on the inside of him, and he's going to be able to get a little power right on by him there. would think Brad knew that was coming, huh? So it looks like Andres tucking up behind Sportelli there. You can see him in the background. That so Andres, after that first corner little mistake he made, trying to move up a couple more spots. Looks like Ian. Good night, Ian. Or hello, Ian, I should say. Sounds like we lost another guy here. Had two of the drop signals. I'm not sure who they were. Not that interested, actually. More interested in racing. So, say hey, everybody. Say hi to Ian. Joe Corey's out there on the live stream watching us. He said he's going to be back out here next week. I forget which car you're in, but glad to see you out here next week. You can get a good gauge of your competition, right? You can be in the car Mikey was in. It sounds like Celine. So Andres, who was poking his nose in there on Sportelli once in a while, poke, kind of backed off a little bit. And of course, as I say that, he tries getting on the inside of Sportelli up the hill. That could have got real ugly, huh? Take a quick peek up here up front, see if anything new is happening. No, we got Juan Monroy still sitting about a second behind our leader, David Poel. Kevin Savoy, who goes wide into the kitty litter, and Brent's going to move Brad up to fourth. Sportelli is going to try to capitalize on that mistake. Not going to be able to right there, though. So this guy's pushing hard, catching the gravel on exits. So much for that taking it easy theory I had, I guess, huh? Yeah, you put the helmet on, you want to win, so you're pushing hard. Andres gets wide and gets that car all sorts of sideways. Oh, Maserati all sideways in a really bad spot there. Just gonna want to either find out who that is. Looks like it may have been Sergio. Dropped all the way back down to 23rd. That's a good question. Like we are working lap 9 out of a possible 23. Thank you for asking. I guess I should. Hard to keep track of that. So Brad Maris looks like he got passed there by Kevin. Kevin, who had put it in the kitty litter. I would guess Brad may have caught a corner too, and that's going to let Kevin Savoy back up into that third spot. So Brad, I got Sportelli not too far behind, and who's got Andres right on his tail still. Looks like Andres is really pushing Sportelli to make a mistake, because you're not making the pass into the corkscrew. Unless you're what? Helio Castroneves, I think, is the one who did that on the outside, the champ car. Not recommended, though. This is where Andres is going to want to do it. He's going to want to get out this corner as good as he can and power that Ferrari past the McLaren, as it should be. Yes, I'm biased. So Andres trying to tuck it up. Not able to do it there. Marty Yearn running by himself in 7th. We've got a gaggle of cars here. Looks like Al Marimon, and drop back to 10th. Right behind Andres Cole. He's having a pretty good run. Andres coming up on his teammate. Looks like he Rich Roman. Teammates running 8th and 9th there. Aaron Parsons wide out of turn 6 into the kitty litter. Looks like he may have understeered out there to the Never Never Land. Marco Conte into Celine, sitting 12th. Chris Moses working his way up. He's in 13th, even with the big dent in the side of the car. Johnny Mack started dead last in this race. It's up to 14th. Sam Rolfe, Laurent Weisman, slowly working his way backwards. Andrew Werner, David Poel's teammate, 17th. Steve Kager, 18th. Chuck Carter, 19th. And Christian Hamilton is sitting 20th. Gupster Douglas sitting in 21st. Mikey Graytrix, got a little aero damage on the front of that car. Currently sitting 22nd. Looks like he's letting some of the faster guys by. And Sergio sitting in 23rd. Meanwhile, up front, David Poel still taking care of business at the front of the track, in front of the laps, front of the cars. You know what I'm trying to say. Guess the cold drugs are working good, huh? Come on. There it is. Juan Monroy's that Ford GT with Kevin Savall right behind him in 3rd. Brad still sitting in 4th. That fight right now between John Sportelli and Andres Prieto. I think right about now Andres is probably getting kind of impatient, so I'm going to hang out with this one. Let's see what happens. And not a bad guess on my part. Look at Andre getting into the side of Sporto there. He's going to go wide, and that's not going to help him out at all. So he goes wide and gets into the kitty litter. It's going to let Marty Yearn. Nah, I won't let Marty catch up at all. So looks like Andres is going to have to clear his mind and work his way back up there to Sportelli. Andre's getting a little ragged here. Pushing it pretty hard. Halfway point of this race. Guys are working lap 12. Working lap 13. So it's happening fast. David Poel still at the front of this. With Juan Monroy and Kevin Savall right there. Brad Maris dropping back just a little bit. Sitting 4th. That still give him a road to start for next week's race if he ends up here. And Sportelli with Andres. Andres on a mission to batch up the catch back up to Sporto here. Marty Ern running 7th. Andres Cole and Rich Roman. Looks like Andres got around Rich. And Al's sitting 10th. So the teammates working together. Al, no teammate to help him. He's running 13th, Chris Moses is. It's better than last, where he started, basically. Like Aaron Parsons struggling just a little bit with that. Viper. He's got another week to work on it. Probably going to want a little easier car to drive to 3 hours. Let's get back here with Andres, see if he's caught up to Sporto yet. Looks like he's getting close. Juan Monroy's dropped back quite a bit there from David. And that's going to put Kevin Savall. He follows Juan off the track. And that's going to let Brad Maris get by. If this works out for Brad, he's going to have full power up the hill past these guys. And he does into the corkscrew, bro. Brad Maris moves up into 2nd spot. While Kevin and Juan Monroy straighten out their little schmozzle there. So Juan Monroy, who was running 2nd, drops back to 4th. Brad Maris moves up to 2nd. Of course, that's let the gap for the Andre Sportelli battle get a little closer to Juan, but so it looks like Kevin is going to try to work his way back around Brad, but meanwhile, David Poel up front is just kind of checking out. Going, hey, you guys fight it out. I'm going to go win the race. Get ready for next week. And you see, you don't even see David up there. He's long gone. So Andre Soprano caught back up to John Sportelli. Through turn 6 up the hill. Let's see if it's John covering the line. Kind of a nice straight fast way through that section. Andres is all over him. Makes you wonder if John Sportelli should just go, okay, fine, go. I'll lose 1 spot as opposed to getting knocked off and losing 5 spots. So we'll see. See just ahead of them, Kevin Savos still all over the back of Brad Maris. So Andres goes wide again, so Andres is pushing pretty hard. Got another drop. So Andres still running 5th. Was anybody in front of this battle? Right along there with Kevin Saville and Brad having a little bit of trouble in some of the entries of these corners. You can see the back of that car stepping out. So Kevin making note of that, I'm sure. Take those quick mental notes of things you see happen in front of you. Brad sliding that car out of that hairpin. It's got good power up the hill, though. He'll be able to cover that inside line, not give Kevin any room. Sportelli goes wide. What happened to Andres? He's dropped back to 6. So Andres is didn't see what happened. Don't want to assume. Yeah, I do. I want to assume. I probably caught a little kitty litter on an exit. That's my guess. So that's going to drop him back to 6 and let Marty move up to 5th. So Sportelli no longer has anybody all over his neck. You can just concentrate on keeping the car on the black stuff. And looks like Brad getting wide out of that exit. But Kevin might be able to power up the hill. Not to be. Of course, it was Kevin's mistake to let Brad by, so Kevin got wide at turn 6. Brad able to capitalize, of course. This is a battle for second place, but this is a battle for a third starting position for next week's race for Kevin. They're working lap. I think he's working lap of 18. Yep, he's working lap 18. Probably ready to start 19. Looks like. Ha! Look at that. I don't have a clock on the race, so I'm gonna. Guess we're going to do all 23 laps. Looks like there's a lot of close battles right now. Right now, for the top 3, we got Kevin Saffon, Brad Maris. Got Johnny McIntyre and Laurent Wiseman. Chris Moses has worked his way up to 11th. He's gotten by Juan Monroy. Didn't even notice that, but Juan Monroy's dropped way back from 2nd place all the way back to 12th. Looks like Brad Maris has got a problem. Him and Kevin are out in the... it's too bad I missed that. That's moved Sportelli up into 2nd. Marty up into 3rd. Andres Pradle able to capitalize on their mistakes or possible issue, and they're back. He's up into 4th now. So Brad Maris sitting 5th now as opposed to 2nd. Kevin Savall behind him in 6th. Rats. Too bad we missed that. Sorry about that. So Kevin Savall's dropped back quite a ways, so he's going to run by himself the rest of the race. Brad Maris, who was running 2nd, is now behind his teammate, Andres Prado in 4th. David Poel 13 seconds out front while these guys are beating and banging on each other. David Pole's just going to back off, take it easy, and take it to the finish. Nice and easy like. Al Merrimon making the pass on Andres Cole and moves him up into 8th. So Al might have a chance to move up on Rich Roman. See him get real wide and crazy out of that corkscrew. Al's been looking real strong here lately, so going to be real interesting to see how Al does come next week's race, and he's going to be able to get out of that corner and be able to take that Lambo power past that Maserati here. Around the outside, Rich Roman covers the inside. Not going to let Al do it. But that does let Al get right up on him, so. Looks like right behind him we got Andres Cole's now got Aaron Parsons all over him. With Chris Moses back in 11th. That's better than 23rd, so he won't be happy, but he'll be glad he's able to move up. So meanwhile, up front, David Poel is pretty much checked out. This might be the last lap for David Poel. Looks like we've run 30 minutes, so we'll ride along here with our leader. So he gets ready to go through turn 6 and up the back side of the track. Down through the corkscrew, possibly for the last time in this race. Coming up on the final turn here. I did say possibly. Looks like Juan Monroy's blown up his motor. That's why he was dropping out. So from second place to last, Juan Monroy having a tough night. So looks like even though our session is 32 minutes long, we're still running another lap here. David Poel working. We're going to go 23 laps. He's working lap 23 right now. So this will be the last lap for David Poel. Looks like Sportelli is 13 seconds behind. Look at Kevin Savoie and Brad Maris are at it again. About a second separating them. Al Merrimont and Andres Cole. Andres got back around Al. Pop into those finishing positions after we watch David Poel cross the finish line. Take it easy here through the hairpin. I don't know why I'm flipping through all those things like that, but I did. Sorry. So our winner of tonight's Superpole qualifying race, David Poel. A nice easy win for him, about 13 seconds in front. Let's hope he stays inside. John Sportelli, taking advantage of the mistakes of people in front of him, is going to finish second. Marty Ern's going to finish third. A great run for Marty. I think he started well back. Andres Pareto is going to be fourth. Brad Maris holds off Laurent Weisman. Going to take fifth. Or excuse me, Laurent. That was not Laurent. Excuse me, Kevin Savoie. Kevin Savoie going to take sixth. Rich Roman seventh. Andres Cole is going to hold off Merrimont for eighth, and Al Merrimon's going to be ninth. Aaron Parsons coming in 10th. Chris Moses, from the back of the pack, working his way up to 11th. So there we see Marcos Conte and Laurent Weisman. Laurent coming in 13th. John McIntyre with Andrew Warner right on his tail. So we got Andrew Warner finishing 15th. Sam Rolthan 16th. Christian Hamilton coming around the final corner. Gets it all wrong. Looks like the car basically stopped on him. He's going to finish 17th. Gubster Douglas is going to be 18th. Chuck Carter in the Ferrari is going to come along here in 19th position. Mikey Graytrix with the beat-up Celine. Looks like he was a lap down. He'll finish in 20th spot. Juan Monroy blew up his motor. Is going to finish 21st. Sergio was going to finish 22nd. And that's it. That's it for our finishers tonight. You know, David Poel just pretty much walked away with this one. And if that's any sign for next week's race, looks like everybody else has got some work to do, because David really didn't. He wasn't really pushing it. He took pole. He took maximum points for tonight's race with the pole in the win. So that's pretty good things for Mr. Poel. So, like I say, everybody else has got to get their act together if they want to put any kind of challenge to David Poel for next week's 3-hour race. A lot can happen in 3 hours, mind you, but that kind of pace, he's looking pretty good for next week's race. So don't forget, you can watch this broadcast repeat anytime you want. It's posted up on the YouTube. I think that's NAGP TV. It'll be posted up tomorrow. And you can review the race. You can check out how your competitors fare.
Back
and
in there with
let's see how. Looks like I may have
Hey, Curtis.
David Poel in here with me. How you doing, David? Congratulations on that. Pretty much a dominating yawner there, huh?
I would never say that, but yeah, glad to have gotten that done after my unbelievable bad luck, and bad driving on my part. Just terrible races the last two, so it's nice to get back in the rhythm. Had a decent night Monday, and then this pretty unusual for me to set my best lap that I've ever done on Superpole, so pretty happy about that. I think Savoy would have had it if he wouldn't have run wide there, but still pretty glad to get it, and then race was uneventful, so
Yeah, it's kind of,
no complaints.
When you're driving the car, that's kind of how you want it. You want it uneventful. You must have been watching what was going on behind you and saw how everybody was kind of beating and banging on each other and said, fine, go right ahead. And
yeah, I was pulling for him.
well, your teammate...
Yeah, so I didn't see everything that happened. I mean, I kind of saw part of it, and I just kept seeing the gap get bigger and bigger, so I just tried to stay real consistent. I was taking it real easy through that left-hand uphill corner. Guys were making up 2 or 3 tenths every time through there, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't go wide there and just to play it safe. That's a real dangerous part for me anyway on the track. Got a lot of problems getting through there cleanly, so
yeah, you
just took it real easy through there and try to be as consistent as possible.
Well, that's got to be it's got to make you feel pretty good for next week. I was saying earlier that looks like these people behind you have got some work to do because looked. I know it's never easy, but it looked like a pretty smooth ride for you tonight, and it's got to make you feel pretty confident coming next week's race. 3 hours, a lot can happen, but it's still got to make you feel pretty good about it.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. It was a few bobbles here and there, but no major mistakes. So obviously, there's about got to do that 6 times over next week, but that'll be my plan next week too. Just be real consistent and try not to make any mistakes.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us. I appreciate it, and good luck next week.
Yep, thanks for doing the broadcast, and we'll see you next week, Curtis.
Cheers. Well, there you have it. We, David, feeling good. Said it himself, just kept an eye on what was going on behind him and let him do it. So, appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Please join us next week. 3 hours is going to be a real good race. It's going to be come here with myself and Jack Ivey. We'll be with you for all 3 hours. And again, join us on Saturdays for iRacing. Join us Monday night with Al and Brad as they broadcast Monday's season finale in the GT2 cars as they go around the best track in the world at Spa. And then the final race of the season here next week, the GT1 cars at Laguna Seca. 3 hours. Nothing but fun. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.